finish. We can try to enjoy. Problem is not the finish. So we can try.
No wala, ayy. No wala, ayy. No wala. Welcome. Episode 9, Undr Dog podcast. Our guest today is one and only King David. Powerful name.
What up?
Appreciate you doing this. Just want to say that to start off with. But I'll go ahead and let Drew say his piece,
You already know your boy Church with the merch. You can find me. It's a real special episode for a lot of reasons, and I feel like things happen for a reason. So we just happy to have King David on to be able to talk about a lot of this stuff, and I know he's excited too. So let's get right to it. First and foremost, rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins, man.
Yeah.
I know we're reporting a little bit late on it. But yeah, apparently the brother, 24 years old, was crossing 595 near the airport section of like Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale. Crossing the highway, man, on foot, 6:30 in the morning. Got hit by a dump truck. Unfortunately, the brother didn't stand a chance, and he has passed away. And it's like I said, things happen for a reason. King David is actually a Steelers fan. So I figure he would have, something to say about this. So go ahead.
It's a sad situation. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to see a young brother like that. My little sister's 24 years old. You know what I'm saying? And this man was a husband. He had kids. You know what I'm saying? And it's just real sad. He had potential and everything, and it's just too early, for anybody. So I know that the Steelers are having a memorial on April 22nd at Heinz Field for him, which is dope. By them to acknowledge him and do him like that. And that's why I'm a fan of the franchise,
Yeah, he definitely passed away before his time, man. Only thing I'm questioning is why he would be on the highway that early in the morning on foot. But I'm sure they're going to do a full investigation. I think they said they ruled it a homicide. So I may be wrong. I thought I heard them say that during the news broadcast. But regardless, my prayers go out to his family, his loved ones. I can't even imagine what they're going through. Definitely a king that passed away before his time, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. I heard Ohio State was doing a little something too. So he won them a lot of games. He set a lot of records, a lot of numbers. So they're gonna be showing him some love too. So yeah, just rest in peace to him, man. All his family members, anybody affected by it, as well as Steelers Nation. They are a stand-up franchise, and I guess it kind of leads us into the next thing will be the update on the Brian Flores situation, who is now signed to the Steelers as I believe a defensive assistant. Ray Horton and Steve Wilkes, who is actually the former coordinator for Mizzou, have actually joined the case, also claiming that they have had very, questionable practices with the interview process and all that kind of stuff. As well as, I also heard that apparently this might be one of the things that influenced Tom Brady's situation, because apparently he wanted to go to Miami. But apparently wind of this is going around in inner circles. And I even heard one conspiracy theorist today say that is why Bill Belichick sent Brian Flores the text in the first place, to kind of blow all that up in Miami so that Tom couldn't come to the AFC East. But that's a long way theory. But we do have a couple other brothers joining this case. So I think like there's a lot of validity to it. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah. I appreciate that Hugh Jackson stepped up immediately and all that. And I mean, yeah, man, like for a long time, man, it's only been one consistent black coach in the league. You know who it is, Mike Tomlin. But you know, another conversation for another day. But I'm glad that he keeps winning and finding a way to win, man.
I mean, the Pittsburgh
Steelers.
Steelers have always given opportunities to people of color, especially in leadership positions. I mean, Mike Tomlin's been the coach, I don't know how many years now, but it's sad that no other team was willing to do that after all this news broke, to step out and be like, oh no, there's a position for you. We know you got talent and you can lead our team. I mean, I'm happy that he got a position, but it's like
apparently that's what the Tampa Bay thing was supposed to be, but that's once again a separate conversation.
Yeah.
I just feel like we should just continue to highlight the Steelers because at least they are, doing it the right way, not afraid to take those risks. Let's be honest, the Steelers have had what, 3 coaches, David? Ever?
Only 3 coaches ever.
So you know what I'm saying?
Only so loyal. Like, and it's crazy. But yeah, man.
For them. The NFL does have some good things going, so at least we can talk about some positives. Talking about organizations, I guess now we can talk about these new football leagues that have popped up. We can briefly talk about the USFL. Apparently, the first game is on Saturday. Or is anybody planning to watch that or look at that at all?
What is the USFL?
Apparently, we have a new spring football league, and I'm not sure, but it got me looking at stuff. Now, I personally don't care about this game. I'm not going to check it out. But this morning on Get Up, The Rock and his ex-wife, former IFBB pro athlete Danny Garcia, were apparently talking about their new acquisition of the XFL, which used to be, I believe, Vince McMahon's back in the day.
It was Vince McMahon's right before the pandemic. Remember they shut it down, it was his, and then he sold it to The Rock, I think for like $15 million.
So, and him and his day is kind of, I guess, weird. I mean, for me, they had his first daughter together, but he's recently married. She's been married since like 2014, but him and his age, but it was crazy for me to see just because I know so much about The Rock. But she actually also became the first female to own a sports organization today.
Oh wow.
So that was kind of the other reason to bring that up. I know we all have young women in our lives and families, you know what I mean? If you can see her, you can be her, you know what I'm saying? Don't ever let nothing stop you. But it was kind of interesting. They also named some of their coaches that they're going to have for the XFL today. Apparently Rod Woodson, former Steeler, Hines Ward is going to be a coach in the XFL.
Wow.
Bob Stoops, former coach at Oklahoma Sooners.
Wow.
And then there was another one, I forgot. But they've actually got some names.
Legit.
Yeah, like some legit, like legit coaches. So when so I was looking at the USFL stuff, it was coincidental as I'm looking this stuff up because I'm like, how is there a football league that starts Saturday? And then The Rock popping up talking about, oh, I got a league too. I'm like, okay. But apparently, and they're also having a partnership, the XFL, they're having a partnership with the NFL to try out new rules and stuff. So I think that American football is actually starting to get like quality prospect B and C leagues to be able to, try some stuff out, evolve the game a little bit. You know what I mean?
Kind of like the NBA G League, huh?
Yeah. I was just about to say.
Yeah.
They development leagues, man. They need to do that.
It's happened before. They've all fallen through, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I was a fan of arena football, but that was kind of a different sport. You know what I mean? So it wasn't the same, but Right.
Every time I look at arena football, it reminds me of Starship Troopers. It really do. When they was playing football.
Wow. Just an update, Zion is not playing. He is sitting on the bench with a nice suit on, but they did show him doing dunks and warm-ups. So I don't know how that works, but nice chain, brother. Next would be, this past week were all 4 rounds of my personal favorite golf tournament, the Masters, and the return of Tiger Woods. Now, in the first day, he shot a 71. That's a 1 under, and that finished, I believe, 11th on the first day. So to be able to come back from a car crash, I want to first highlight that.
Yeah.
14 months ago, to be able to come back and do a 1 under and finish in like the top 11, which is basically, arguably top 10 in a professional golf round. Like I said, man, probably my favorite athlete all the time, bro. This dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, like, just another thing. Now he ended up shooting 74 and then 78, which I believe is his worst finish on the course, if I'm to be honest. But just to see him back out there, good for him, and I'm proud of him,
Yeah. It was real good to see him out there, but I don't want to diminish what Scotty Schaefer has been doing this season, man. Like he's really he wouldn't, he flying under the radar and all that. And that the big news was Tiger, of course, because that was a great thing to see. But yeah, man, Scotty been out here winning, and he's definitely projected to win the PGA championship. So it's good for the sport and everything that Tiger came back, of course. And I think we discussed earlier that he going to the British Open. So that's a big thing. That's a big thing. So we will see Tiger again. He said this leg is gonna get stronger. So I believe him.
He definitely started to limp as the days went on. And you could just see it, and it was just more of a a moral victory. Golf isn't the same sport as
without him.
Without him, but just in general, it's not the same sport. Like, there's a lot of pride and stuff that goes into it, and obviously him winning 5 Masters jackets before the fact that he did bounce back from all the controversy and win the Masters in 2019. Like, Augusta is very special to him and very special to the history of golf.
Mm-hmm.
And it meant a lot to have him come back, to be able to at least show us that he could compete, and then to finish. You know what I mean? It's very important. So
I was happy he made the cut.
Yes, made the cut. You know what I'm saying? I believe the stat might be that this might have been his worst finish while making a cut. I think that might be what it is.
I was gonna say I've only been golfing maybe like 2 or 3 times at like Top Golf, and it utilizes a whole different muscle set.
Yeah,
ball control.
Yeah, it's like it works muscles you don't think you had, right? You'd be like, oh,
it's kind of weird too, man. So
I went to Top Golf.
Nothing but respect to that man, and his greatness.
I went to Top Golf, and everything was going to the right. Wouldn't hit no target. Everything.
Exactly.
It's like, dang.
Right. Next would be Monty Williams. He won Coach of the Year. He's definitely deserving. Suns finished with the best record in the NBA. This will be the second time in a row. Do y'all think he deserved it?
Yeah.
I would say so. I can't think of the only other coach I can think of is the Minnesota Timberwolves. I can't think of his name right now.
Mike Finch.
Yes, that would probably be the second runner-up, just because of how they went from a 23-win team to a 46-win team, and he just joined the organization. I'll give him that, because they weren't making the playoffs. They ain't even dreamt of making the playoffs, and God knows how long. So that's who else comes to mind. But big ups to Monty. I'm not taking nothing away from him. Just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, I mean, with what happened this year in the NBA, I honestly can't think of maybe a coach who did something. Yeah, I mean, shout out to him. I mean, he's definitely deserving. I just didn't know if I could honestly think of anybody who could, you know what I mean, who deserved it more.
King David, you disagree? I saw you frowning.
Look, I'm letting y'all talk, man. I'm letting y'all talk. I got four coaches now. No, I agree with about the Monty Williams, but there's other coaches that could have won it, man. Like Mike Malone could have won it because of how people was in and out the lineup. And you say the Timberwolves, but the Grizzly coach could have won it too.
That's it.
Because come on, man, they
Willie
had second
Green.
seed. They was in the
not
play-in
Willie
game
Green. Not Willie
last year.
Yeah, you got a point.
Not Willie Green. Willie Green is the Pelicans coach.
Yes, Pell, that's my coach. I'm tripping. I just looked at Willie Green. That's why I said it. I'm watching Willie Green. That's what I said.
But in all actuality, and then the Celtics coach, I don't want to mess up his name right now, but that man, come on, man, we was the 10th seed
I'll give you
last
that.
season.
But
We was the 10th seed
the Celtics
last
have been
year.
underperforming for a while now, though. I know that's your squad.
That's because Brad Stevens, you know, he was losing the ear. He was losing the ear. But he's looking like he's not so bad of an executive with the acquiring of Derek White and everything. And we turned that season. We have the best winning record since the All-Star game, 26-6.
Okay.
Defense, number one. Even when we was in our bad with the beginning of the season, we were still a top 10 defense. Our offense was just off.
I just got one question for you. You think y'all beating the Nets? I just want to know.
I think we gonna beat the Nets. I think we want payback, and that's why we played the last game. We started all our starters, so we can get the second seed. And we wanted the Nets. We want payback.
Hey,
how they beat us last year. You want to know what made me the most mad about last year of us losing? We was the only team in the playoffs that faced a healthy Kyrie, James Harden, and KD last year. Everybody else, KD went. I mean, the Bucks, Kyrie and James Harden went down that game. Well, I honestly think James Harden went down at the end of Game 5 with the Celtics.
Okay.
But he still averaged like 25. So that's what I'm saying. So, like, I want revenge. We hear Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum from the Lou all day. I've watched this man since 2015 in Chaminade to now be a part of my squad.
Duke.
I just got one thing to say. That's all good. You named all the big hitters. Who's your underdog on the Celtics team? You know, because we know what
Marcus Smart.
Marcus
Smart.
Okay.
Marcus Smart, man.
Okay.
Because you know what? Every now and then he can give us a good offensive push. But that defense, he should be defensive player of the year. Average most steals. I think he like top 5 in steals this year. He got the most. He scored career highs in points and assists this year. You know, he really became the playmaker and the point guard we needed. You know, I mean, and it's good. You know that he finally starting after always being the 6th man, but getting to see his playmaking, his leadership. He had to dig into Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum early in this season because they wasn't moving the ball like they should, but now they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, just to be, you know, the other side in this conversation, we all know pretty much since the first of the year, the Celtics have led the East with a record of 35-12, number 2 in offensive rating, and first in net rating and defensive rating. And yeah, they were 22nd of offensive. So David definitely knows what he's talking about. But what I will say is this is what we was all talking about. That's why we were sitting in the house watching the game, and we was over here basically I wanted the Nets to win so the Heat didn't have to play them, because Kyrie Irving and KD, the other KD, combined for 59 points. Kyrie came out, was 34, had 12 assists. He hit his first 12 shots. This is all while fasting for Ramadan. Assalamu alaikum. This is what is going on. They got Bruce Brown, who knows his role. He's had 15 points per game the last month. You got Claxton popping off. You got Andre Drummond coming out for, I think, 17. they were terrible in defense all year. Probably the worst defense in the history of the NBA, if not one of the bottom, maybe 6 to 10 in the history of the NBA this season.
Okay.
The Nets defense was terrible. In the past month, they have the 8th ranked defense. They did the same thing last year in the playoffs. They have a tendency to turn it on, and especially Kevin Durant turns on that defense. So Kyrie plus KD, it's very, people are worried about it. I still think they're limited by Steve Nash, but what you think about the Nets? What you think, man? What you honestly think?
I honestly think they're a good team, but what people need to understand is they still almost lost to Cleveland, and they didn't have their defensive anchor out there. You know what I'm saying? And like, even though if KD and Kyrie could do what they do, we can't. I feel like we cancel them out with Jaylen Brown and everything. But we got it. We can't let Bruce Brown almost get a triple
That's
double.
where
We
I'm going.
can't.
And
We
that's the
can't.
underdog.
Yeah.
Who mine is?
No, Bruce Brown for the
No,
Nets.
what? You want to know who mine is though?
Ooh.
Seth Curry for the Nets,
Okay.
because I got a nice little interesting stat for y'all.
Go ahead.
Today. Career playoff 3-point percentage. The leader all time is Seth Curry.
Oh,
With
wow.
46.8%. Ahead of Clay, 41.5, Ray Allen, 40.1, and Steph, 40.1. Seth Curry, I believe, is going to be the X factor and go on a lot of shooting streaks in this series.
I could see that.
To be able to get the Nets a little far. But Bruce Brown, he's over here with bulletin board material, man, talking about they happy to go at Horford and Daniel Tice. KD quieted that noise right after.
I saw that.
What you think about that, David?
Oh, you know what I think. Bring it on. Thank you. Thanks for the motivation. We're gonna be humble about ours because we understand who over there. But real talk, it's cool because they better sweep us. Because if they don't sweep us, guess who come back game 4? Robert Williams. Breaking news. Man. It was earlier. He looking good. So keep it tight. And Daniel Tice has been playing great since he been back with us. So and even gotten better when he come in. He hit threes. He blocked a couple shots. He get rebounds. And Al Horford, he just our vet, man. And he's still doing big things. So you can think what you want. It's fine. I'm glad. It's whatever. It's all humble. I understand that if the Nets is going to take out the Celtics, they're going to have to do it in 7. But I think we beat them in 6.
Cool. So real quick, Baller, one thing real quick I'm going to ask you. What is Steph Curry playing in game 1?
If I had to guess, I'm going to say no. He ain't going to play in game 1.
Okay.
If I had to guess. But to me, in my opinion, Jordan Poole needs to start. Period. And he needs to be like play Steph's role for us to win this game. He can't be playing scared. Give him the keys and see what he can do, because Clay is good and he's hitting buckets, but we're going to need everybody we can, man.
Definitely. Staying out west, the Timberwolves handled the Clippers, the revenge of Patrick Beverley.
Man. If there ever was an underdog, that man is Patrick Beverley, man.
I know you love Pussy from the Shy. He needs to clean it up just a little bit, bro, in my opinion. Because some of them hip checks and stuff, bro, man, some of them hip checks is questionable, man.
Yeah.
It's a little, you know what I'm saying? I love him too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I love Pat Bill. He tried to take away Russell Westbrook kneecaps, but
yeah, and he
bumped Paul George.
He bumped Paul George. He had 2 of them in about 30 seconds. He caused like a pile of bodies in the paint last night on the play. And then he hip checked Paul George pretty dirty. I was like, dang. But he had a couple choice words for them after the game. Minnesota might have celebrated a little too hard, but that's kind of why they brought Pat Bev to the team, and they got it done, Mike Finch and the boys. So I feel like Minnesota is as long as everybody's hitting, formidable team. So we'll see. They got to play.
Think they have a chance against Memphis?
Nah, they gotta go. They gotta go praise Ja. So,
Memphis is what we used to say about the Warriors.
Okay.
Strength in numbers.
yeah.
They deep, man. They deep. I seen them beat a Suns team,
Wait a minute,
and none
King
of they
David. King David, what you mean used to say about the Warriors? Used to
I said you. I don't know if it's strength in numbers anymore. You're like y'all deep, like y'all deeper this year. This year, like for sure. Like y'all develop y'all young players and kind of recapture that. But I'm talking about the last 2 years before this season. It wasn't, y'all was injury ridden. That's all. I'm just saying, like now, who coming fresh on the scene is the Grizzlies, and they deep. Like they deep. Like I said, I saw them beat a Suns team, and they had none of their starters. The only starter they had was Dylan Brooks, who only played like 20 games this year, and he came out bussing. They had their full team: Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton,
They did.
that
Wasn't that the
boogie,
last game of the
and they
season?
lost.
Damn.
It was the second to last.
Second to last? Okay.
Because the Grizzlies played us for the last game. But yeah, man, it was like so. I'm gonna be happy to see it because we're gonna see two young stars going at it, and both teams ain't really had a playoff experience, so it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a battle. But I think the Grizzlies take them out in 6, and maybe even 5. It just depends because let's also remember in the play-in, Karl Anthony Towns ain't had the best game, but shouts out to D-Lo
Fouled out with 7 minutes left.
Yeah, and that's their best player. That can't happen. You know what I mean? So
you got to grow up a little bit.
Yeah, that can't happen.
He was looking like, boy, he was like real silly fouls too, like just silly big man fouls. I mean,
and he going against Steven Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Who's
He
not
going
gonna
against
make it easy.
That's not gonna be a fun matchup for him.
I think he ain't used to people double teaming him. So he got to figure out, like, I got to get my butt in the post so I can see the court and pass out.
I guess my only real problem with Pat Beverley was he was in the interview talking about I always go to the playoffs. I'm like, bruh, with who?
He do though.
But with who?
The
like
Rockets,
James
the
Harden,
Clippers,
Kawhi Leonard.
That
like,
Clippers
you know
year.
Mm-hmm.
That Clippers year, man, where they ain't had no star.
It was just the way he said it. He said it like it was because of him or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always go to playoffs. I'm like, bruh, because of who you playing with, though. Like, it's not. Like, you know what I'm saying? There was one year he got sat.
You play defense now, though, man. You need that defense to get them.
You need that dog, man. We got it in Marcus Smart, who flopping all over the court.
He do be flopping, though, man.
That dude be flopping. That year in the bubble against the Raptors, that man literally threw himself in that man's shoulders and just hit the Mortal Kombat legs. I was like, yo. It don't make no sense.
Well, 2 things that we didn't touch on with Celtics Nets real quick is that Antoine Walker came on the show today and said that he wasn't impressed by the Nets for the same reasons. So I'm sure you'd be happy to hear that. And then he said it'd be a 6-7 game series, but he felt like y'all got it. And then the other thing is just obviously, I know y'all probably heard about it. There was a shooting in Brooklyn, really close to the Barclays. I think the day before the game. So you know what I'm saying? So it's just, stuff going on out here in the world.
Breaking news on that. They called him.
Oh, well, good.
He in custody.
I was mad it was a black man, though. I gotta say that.
Oh, yeah.
It was a black man.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. But when I saw Brooklyn, I ain't gonna lie. I was like,
I mean, that was, just for the culture. That sucks. I mean, it sucks, period, obviously, but,
for the culture.
I didn't hear nobody died, right? I heard 6 people got injured.
Yeah, nobody died.
Yeah, okay.
But
I did see some pretty graphic photos. Yeah, it's just crazy, man. Everybody be safe there, man. Y'all stay safe.
See, I like that some things never change.
What?
Hood dude still got bad aim out here.
It's
So,
terrible.
I know that it's terrible, but it's true, man.
Well, it ain't the only thing terrible out here. We about to do my favorite segment. Woo!
Take him to church. Sponsored by coming soon. Go ahead,
Sponsored
bro.
by coming soon. We're gonna have that official sponsor coming soon. We will be officially sponsored. This week we got a couple people. Number one, I'm gonna go off rip. I don't take them to church without taking myself to church. I, on a previous episode, accidentally said Tyreek Hill is from Florida. He owns a home in Miami. He is not from Miami. He is from Coffee County, Georgia. Now, he is going to church today, though, because he got caught hard juking an all-girls middle school flag football team in practice and scoring. You need to stop beating up on these kids, but there's multiple offenders. Aaron Rodgers got seen getting picked by a kid, and then the kid taunts him and brings the ball back to him. He was seen throwing the ball at the child. We got to do better.
I heard that.
Rob Ninkovich, former DN from the Patriots, was seen in a sack race pushing kids over to make sure that he win. So kind of what I'm saying is can we lighten up on the kids? That's what we need. Like, what is we like? Why is we getting caught on video taking advantage of these kids just to win little races and stuff? Come on now.
Nah, man, I ain't rolling. I ain't rolling. Hey, these kids got it easy nowadays, man. You got it, you know what I'm saying? Too many anticipation trophies given out nowadays.
And with that said, man, we appreciate you, King David. Until next episode.
Till next episode.